What's going on, TGN? What's up, YouTube? We are here with another episode of Overtime presented by TECK Foul. And this week we are talking about episodes 7 and 8 of HBO's Winning Time. And maybe a little bit about how Jerry West wants to, take them to the Supreme Court. But we'll get into all that after the intro.
It's your boy TIMKINZ, the number 3, aka Ass Ketchum, aka Mr. Give It To Me. Hello.
I'm the RJ.
Only known as
The RJ.
And I'm Camille, point guard of the crew, the real life Tifa Lockhart, the girl next door, holding it down for all the women who love sports.
And it's your boy K Harris, the gentleman.
The gentleman.
The everyday gentleman.
24/7.
But better known as K Diddy.
Take that. All right. As we said, we are going to be talking about episodes 7 and 8 of HBO's Winning Time. If you're watching on our YouTube page, the Technical File YouTube page, this will be 2 different parts. So episode 7 will be its own video. After that's over, go ahead and find episode 8 video. If you listen on the TGN app, you should get a full show. We're going to take a little halftime break for some ads, and we'll come right back with episode 8. And I think that's everywhere we at. And if you're watching on the TGN YouTube page, it's all going to be one show like you would hear on the network. So all that being said, episode 7 was titled Invisible Man, which Magic remembered only as a movie. And Kareem had to correct him, like also a book. But basically in this episode, the biggest storylines are, 1, can Westhead handle taking over, coaching the team? Because he was looking very inept at times. You got Magic Johnson having his game back in Detroit and what life is like, there, having Cookie come through and him having fun with Cookie Friend. And then you have Celtics, Lakers, and all that goes into that and why Dr. Buss, needs them to win and this and that. We're going to break it all down. So of those major storylines there, which one do y'all want to discuss first?
I'm always down to get messy, so Magic and Cookie's friend.
Cookie.
I forgot what the girl's name was.
So episode 7, you're seeing Magic still trying to build Magic Enterprises. He's talking to Dr. Day about his deal with Buick, and his father was supposed to be there with them on that, but he wasn't. And Dr. Day was like, hey, get it done now. So Magic just went on ahead and get it done. Cookie's sitting there watching. Remember at the end of episode 6, she got the tickets. So she was having this whole first class experience of seeing what it's like to know an NBA player. And for what feels like the 50 millionth time in this series, there were some groupies there to remind her, like, Magic be choosing. Ooh, it really fell apart in episode 8. But in this episode here, the messiest part with this whole Magic Cookie thing is the fact that, he's upset that Cookie doesn't come to his little family Christmas get together with his teammates and the family and everything. And when she goes to see him, he has his whole woo woo woo, I love you, you the one. All the while, Cookie's friend Rhonda was in the bathroom because they just got done doing what they do.
Doing that dude. Giving her the magic stick.
The full court experience with Magic there, and I was like, "Sheesh." Reminded me of it was a full court experience. it reminded me just of being younger, and I had a lot of male friends. I had a lot of male friends, so I heard a lot of stories about juggling and the way things were done. And to see Magic do it at that level, I was like, my God! First of all, you're bold.
Yeah.
I mean, because like
He didn't know who was
they,
up
he was getting something started with Cookie. Like, what if she's like, hey, forget that bus. Like, you can make.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
He would have made the next one.
I'm saying, like the girl.
How
you gonna go in
in
with
the
her?
bathroom or not? He would have made the next one. He made it happen.
I don't know anything about those types of activities, so I don't know how anything is pulled off.
It's a lot of work.
See, I thought you were just volunteering, Ken.
Oh, hey, I've been there. I ain't gonna lie to you.
One at the door, one coming in, one coming out.
Yeah, very stressful time of my life. Hey man, but growth.
Hey,
growth.
that's what it's all about. I had a time in undergrad where I went on 4 dates in one night.
You was busy as shit, wasn't you?
Hey, I've definitely done that.
Thank God for roommates to help you out along the way.
Busy as hell, bro. How?
Hey, man.
It's not the time for that story.
Hey, the truth. Hey, that's why she the point guard. She was our facilitator. So it dies. Like, let me get over here.
No
real
little
quick.
passes and shit like that.
It was all day. I had someone pay for breakfast, for lunch, for happy hour, and for dinner. It was a it was a day. It was a day.
Good.
So pass this wink and a smile real quick. That's lunch.
But no, enough about me. What about Magic? That's who we're talking about here.
Yeah, you are Magic, fam. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking magician, I guess.
Y'all the Spider-Man meme. Like,
motherfucker out here, all that. Multiverse of madness around them, wasn't it? She was just everywhere at one time.
Hey.
see Magic Justin Barry.
Hey, I've been there too. I had 2 chicks in the same party at one time.
Oh yeah, you cold.
One in the front, one in the back. I was on the dance floor. One that left the dance floor, went to the back, chill with her at the bottom.
How?
Exactly.
Hey, my man's was floating in that joint, bro. Like,
Hey, Huntington was probably dancing back and forth anyway. It don't matter.
Bro, like even my guys was like, I don't know how you made it through the night, but I don't know how you pulled that off.
tip of the hat. Like it's
a couple rabbits fell out that mug when I tipped it. Put out all the tricks.
I think it goes without saying here that at least most of the cast here at Tech Foul can understand the difficult nature of juggling.
I feel young and Reddit.
young and risky, but I would say what Magic was doing was a little bit more reckless, given the fact that if Cookie decided that she wanted some in that moment, I don't know how he would have got out of that.
He'd have made it happen.
He would have found a way.
There ain't no way, because when Rhonda walks out, then she sees her best friend in the room. It's over already.
No, you get her out the room off top. Like, we could go over here.
One exit.
Quick. Hey, bro.
Hey,
we would have made it happen.
She'd have made it happen. Shaw would have been running. Damn, Shaw been running for a minute. Hey, listen, I'm about to get in.
I need it hot. You gotta be hot ready.
Some ice.
You gotta be hot ready with some
ice.
I got left in the water.
But no, one thing about the Magic thing though that was interesting at the Christmas party I mentioned that he was waiting for Cookie to show up at that she did not.
Mm-hmm.
Irvin Sr. and Kareem had a conversation that was really interesting to me where they're talking about Magic and Kareem's like, was he always this happy? And his dad is like, yeah, when a doctor smacked him, it wanted to see if he would cry. It was see if he would stop smiling.
That shit had me roll out.
I said he turned to smile. Hilarious.
But hearing the conversation about how Magic seems to be like, what's the right word here?
Oblivious.
Impervious.
Yes, to the struggles of being a black man in the country. I was like, that's interesting because Magic says himself like he felt it because like even in high school he got bused to the all-white school and he was the one who was in charge of helping relations between the white and the black students, but the way he always handled things was with charisma, with a smile on his face, like Eric doing right now.
Mhm.
Boy, that's the biggest cheese I've seen in my.
But
You never seen you smile that damn hard.
Showtime. I mean, yeah, I like that is like they're really setting it up like for the Magic that we know. Like obviously he's been that way as long as he's been a public figure, but like that was really his thing. Like he made him and Larry Bird made a black sport palatable for white people. And like with Kareem as the face of the league, like that turned off white fans. You know what I mean? Like that was why they were in such. That's not the only reason why, but that's part of the reason why they were in such trouble. It's like they didn't have somebody that could kind of, you know, be the face to white America. Like Magic Johnson was the one that kicked in the door for that, and then Jordan took it like into the stratosphere. So I like that they're showing that Magic is at least aware of it, like in his conversations with other people, like not necessarily with Kareem, but like I think he said it with his dad and the pilot. He said it with Cookie here. He's like, yo, I got these white people right where I want them. Like, all I gotta do is turn on a smile and they, you know, fall in line basically. So
Yeah, feel comfortable.
like it's not just like he's oblivious to race relations. Like he's very well aware. He just knows how to kind of disarm it and use it to his advantage.
Mhm.
disarm is a great word choice, I think. And that plays out a little bit more in episode 8, which is, the episode was nothing but drama. But a lot of the drama here in episode 7 was around Westhead, because like I mentioned when we kicked it off, like he just did not look like he knew how to coach. He on the sideline getting yelled at by
Everybody.
Jack Nicholson and Spencer Haywood throwing shots at him in the media. And
That's his fault.
whose fault?
Coach's fault. That was Westhead's fault. How you gonna
How
how you gonna hear some shit? Bench me. Don't tell me why you bench me. For games. For games. You looking past me at the rookie. For games. You don't even know, bro. What? And then you admit later on that, yeah, I overheard him say something, so I benched him. Okay, go talk to that man, bro. Like, what? Like, that's his fault. He started all of that. Like, he could have definitely been like, hey, I wasn't vibing with what you said, or whatever the case may be. Whatever you felt, you could have said something to that man, but instead, you avoided eye contact, looked around that man, and then didn't play him for games. Willingly took L's.
I mean, it's not a defense at all, but like we do got to remember, like coaches are people too. So like you can say like, you know, you got to be above it all and put the team first, and everything is about winning. But like at the end of the day, that stuff like it affects you at a point too. Like at least he was enough, like he was able to admit it eventually. It's like, yeah, you know, like I let my own shit get in the way of, you know, what's best for the team. But like that is like a realistic portrayal. Like, you know, people often when they're not doing well in sports be like, man, coach hate me, blah blah blah. And like sometimes it's just like, nah fam, you're not playing well. But like sometimes it is just that, you know, you did something to the coach personally where he's like not willing to give you leeway or not willing to give you that benefit of the doubt. So like I think that that's something that gets lost sometimes, where it's just like, well, coaches they got to be above it all and all that stuff. It's like referees the same way. It's like you like Boogie Cousins always gets like hella technicals, and it's like because you've been yelling at the refs for like 12 years. Like they're impartial, but at the same time, it's like, you know,
it's Boogie,
sometimes I can look the other way for certain stuff, but like I'm gonna see everything that you do.
He'll be holding like old boy at the Minnesota game, just staring them down, see everything.
Oh, the security guard, seeing everything. But it's interesting. Like the show is really taking those fictional liberties at this point. Like we are really crossing over into this being just a drama that's using some people that we've heard of and known and using some of the truth, but really taking it to be their own story, because the truth of it is Westhead, when he took over, Lakers really did not miss too much of a beat. Like people were talking about Jack McKinney and stuff like that, but after the Lakers started winning,
who?
Pretty much, like it became that for real, and he really did go and get Pat Riley out the stands, low key. and was like, I want you to be the assistant coach. But the difference is that Chick Hearn wasn't disparaging like he was in the show in real life. that fist up for Chick. Oh, tell him to shut up. Yeah, in real life.
Away from like implementing that on the show.
Yeah, in real life, Hearn was like, "Go for it, man. Good luck. Do what you do." But in the show, Chick Hearn is just kind of like a dick. So,
and like Pat Riley had been doing it for years. Like it wasn't like just he had took the job over, right? Yeah.
But there were some problems with Westhead and players on the team. It just didn't happen at this point, in his career. Like the first year there, everything was cool. But the next year is when he wanted to change the system that helped them win a championship in the first place. And the players were like, what are you on right now? This is not cool. And that's where Magic got his reputation of being the coach killer.
They are setting up something for what I'm assuming is going to happen in this season finale. Like, I won't spoil it, but like I think setting up Westhead as somebody that is kind of like spineless and doesn't stand up for himself and is kind of bumbling and doesn't really have his feet up under him. Like they're setting it up because like I think not necessarily a turn, but like there's a very famous thing that happens in the finals that really like if my read of like what they're setting up is correct, like it'll be like he stands up for himself and has to like make a firm decision for the betterment of the team, but like somebody's gonna be upset about it.
All this stuff happened 40 years ago, so I'm not really sure if it's a spoiler for you to say it. So like what thing are you
I guess it's gonna spoil the show, but Spencer Haywood like goes on a crack bench and
yeah, we knew that.
I don't know if the audience do. Like,
right, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, if they've heard us on here, we said he got a crap. We said he had a problem.
He hit the pipe, bro.
We talk about that more next episode, but they definitely are setting that up. Oh, and the Elgin Baylor stuff. In the show, the fact that Elgin Baylor called Pat Riley and he had the wrong room.
I was like, this nigga Bill Belichick in this motherfucker.
He really did like call and just start talking.
Had a full conversation, bro.
What? I'm like, why is you telling this man all of that? Oh no, this Pat. Oh damn. Hey, well, I see you in Boston. I ain't got enough dimes. Minutes about to run out, so I'll see you in a few.
I don't got enough dimes.
It's a child somewhere that does not understand that sentence at all. What are you talking about?
Shit, they probably don't even know what a dime is at this point.
Damn near.
You mean Cash App? What are you talking about?
No, silver coins, little mother. Silver coins, you know. Put them in the machine, but put them in another silver machine. Pick up the handle, and then it talks to you.
It talks to you.
Man, the idea of the concept of a payphone.
I don't know how they did it, bro.
Especially for the motherfuckers using 1-800-COLLECT when I ain't had no dimes on me.
You have a collect call from. Hey, pick up the phone. Nigga.
Hey, pick up the phone. No, y'all running my phone bill up. You can't. I ain't gonna answer that. Like, no, pick up the phone. I won't call you from this number. I didn't need.
And too young to understand this conversation.
Oh man!
If you called somebody collect, the person you were calling incurred the charges for said phone call. So a lot of times when people called someone collect, the person who's answering the phone like, I'm not about to accept this call. You're not about to run my phone bill up.
I've had a baby eating boy, bro.
Right. I appreciate even the concept of you got charged per phone call. Like,
it's wild.
Shoot, we came up on that with them cell phones. Call me after 9 o'clock. Don't call me.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because then down per text message. Good lord, bro.
Man, we used to pay for text.
Per text message.
T9 was the worst, bro. I don't care.
Hey, I love T9.
I didn't, bro. T9 was the worst. Dude, I couldn't wait to get it. When I got a sidekick, that changed my life, bro.
Rich nigga.
Like,
anywho,
like I'm not that young, but like I'll be watching old TV shows and like they'll meet up for dates, and I'm like, what happens if some shit just come up last minute, or like y'all meeting in a public place, y'all just gotta like walk around until you find the person that you're looking for, like
My mom said Dad would literally call the bar, call the restaurant, say like, hey, can I use your phone real quick? I need to call their home, like see what's up. Like getting stood up was a real thing back then because you couldn't.
Pissed.
You couldn't
I don't know what I ain't heard from you in months. Literal months, bro.
Literal.
months.
I could not
That's
find
what I
you.
know you. I came here every night looking for you. Stop lying.
I came here every
Stop
night.
lying. Stop lying.
But that's how Magic almost got caught up. Like she just had to pop up on him. She didn't know where he was at.
Oh yeah.
Which is why to this day, cats hate when you just pop up on them. Like, don't just pop up on me.
You
I
never
You
know,
never know what I'm doing up in here.
Never know.
Exactly. Tim used to be notorious pop. Hey, I'm in the neighborhood. Can I?
Hey, but I would reach out like, I'm in your neighborhood. You busy? Nah, hey, open the door. I'm downstairs now. Then
I'm downstairs now, then.
That was Tim.
I would be posting like, because everybody was like in the Marquette, UWM, MSOE. They all within like arm's reach of everybody, and I had a vehicle rolling around the city. So I'm like, shit. Me going over here and grab this book. Oh shit, I'm down on the street from them. Hey, I'm down. I'm outside. What y'all doing? Chilling. Let me in it.
All you next thing you hear is buzz.
So
But
Tim
no,
just invited himself over, is what you telling me.
I was visiting my friends and spreading love and joy to everybody. What you talking about?
Spreading your Roy Oats.
No, just love and joy, bro. Just love and joy.
if Tim was in the neighborhood, he was gonna stop by. He was gonna stop by. But the episode ends with the big Celtics Lakers showdown, and we understand in part as to why Dr. Bus is so like, yo, we gotta win this game. I need to see something, because Claire go ahead and she's like, hey, I checked your mom's books. She made some mistakes, but she knew what she was talking about, because the way that the assets work. I'm not a lawyer here. I'm gonna mess all this up. But basically what he was saying, or what she was saying, is that if your team performs well and you go on a nice playoff run, even a championship, your value goes up. Like, you're not as deep in the woods as you think you are, because the players are are the value of the team. So if they're good, we good.
Mm-hmm.
Did I get that right?
Yes.
That summary for the most part.
Which I
So
thought
we
was
gotta-
actually kind of interesting on that point. I was like,
Go ahead.
yeah. It was a couple thoughts that came to mind, honestly. The first one was like, that's very
Racist?
slave ownership type
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
But I was like, at the same time, it's a business, and it does make a lot of fucking sense to me.
Was that this episode when
The next one.
when they were like schmoozing like the bank people? Like that was the previous episode.
No, that was the
one
last
before.
one.
Whoever said.
I
Yeah,
was
he
just
was
mentioning
like,
when his
yeah,
mom
we
was being
own this smile. I'm like, the fuck?
Yeah, when like that started to kind of like that, I'm like, don't say that.
Yeah, in episode 8, the mom asked Dr. Bus, like, which ones are yours? And I was like,
I was like, yikes! All right.
Like,
but this episode, we get us some Larry Bird. We get us some.
I do not like this nigga, bro.
Tick.
Like,
You
this
know?
makes me hate. I never liked Larry Bird, and this reopens
Of course
that.
you did.
Like, make me hate Larry Bird. I was like, fuck him, bro.
why is this like deepening the hate for Bird for you?
Just saying how much of an asshole he was. You know, the person. Okay, first of all, the actor that they chose, like,
Fam, he looked like Larry Bird to me.
he do look like Larry Bird, but he got a face that make you want to punch it. So, like, he just like you. I was like, oh,
he's like LeBron James, daddy, bro.
Oh, the dude that be out, yeah,
He
and he be out there hooping. Like,
be hooping in them boots.
He did.
but yeah, I don't like Larry. Fuck Larry Bird, yo.
I mean, that's coming from a Lakers fan. Like that's expected.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny watching it, because I mean they Larry Bird was like that. He did not like media. He did not like talking to people. He really just liked being on his farm, and he liked basketball. Like, that's about it. He was always short. He was not very charismatic. So to see him up sitting there answering the questions next to Magic, and then Magic like, oh man, it's about to be a rivalry. That's like having Tim sit next to, I don't know, the complete opposite of Tim. Like it just
The complete opposite too.
like that's what it reminded me of. Is like Larry was just so different from Magic,
Yeah.
and not even like on the racial thing, but just
Yeah,
how they acted.
it was like a stick in the mud, as it was
Like
saying.
even his teammates said like I kind of hate like not hated him like they loved him because like he was their teammate, but
'Cause
they
he was
like he was an
who- yeah,
asshole.
who-
He was like a dick to us too. So it's like
Yeah, and the Lakers were all talking about, hey, get ready to go play in Boston because it's different in Boston. You saw how the refs
Them
were tripping.
fans, boy.
The fans was tripping.
Different.
For them
Red
to have
Dr. Buster the
worst seats in the house there.
and the
That
worst
was
seats. Then
hilarious.
gave him the decrepit vegetable. Talking about, oh, it's like your coach, a vegetable. Welcome to Boston. I said, my God.
Yeah, the motherfucker tipped the hat from the floor. I'm like,
Like,
oh,
God damn.
Norm
smart
Nixon is
long distance.
hilarious in this show. Or I guess Norm Nixon's son is hilarious in the show. Like, because every time he's on the screen, like it's
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Like-
he's funny as hell.
Which I thought was actually hilarious because the way that they describe Boston and the way they talk about Boston is how typically most black people be talking about Boston. But then people be acting like, I don't understand where y'all be coming from talking like that. Like, my guy, it's not like it's a secret that motherfuckers really didn't fuck with these stories.
Boston's a beautiful city, though.
I
take
ain't
your
never,
word for it.
I ain't never
It
heard
is.
of
I've been there once. It's a beautiful city. I ain't gonna say it's for black folks, but it's a beautiful city. I like how it's set up. It's set up nice.
Okay, I'm gonna take your word for it.
Yeah. Let's go to Boston. We can take a trip to Boston.
I have no desire to go to Boston.
Fun trip to Boston. Let's get it.
I used to
Except
want
Just because you like the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah,
I used to wanna go
that's
for
the reason why I
clam
went.
chowder.
I went
That's
to
about
I went to Fenway.
I used to want to go for like clam chowder on the East Coast, but I don't really don't have
Clam
to pay.
chowder.
Like, I really don't.
One liberty that they did not take is somebody really did shit in Bill Russell's bed.
That's a true story.
True story.
I believe that.
That's
And he
I
played
was-
for the
Bill
Celtics.
Russell again.
Like, it was so outlandish that I was like, that probably really did happen. That probably really
and you play for them, bro. Like, come on. Bro.
He
One of them
said he
championships.
won them some
I
shit.
play for you. I'm like the
Damn near
goat.
every year.
I'm the reason.
I
And
was
they really
wondering-
did try to make the Celtics arena a hellhole for every opposing team that came through. The refs
Mhm.
were reportedly always kind of a
Freaky pipes.
little different up
They
in
said the hot water
Boston.
did not work in the business locker room.
Yeah, so
Bro.
that all happened. They took liberties with the score and whatnot in the game. The Lakers did win that, but they just wanted to up that drama between Magic and Larry, and then the Celtics and the Lakers, because Dr. Buss and Red had their thing a few episodes back as well. But we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we are going to be discussing episode 8. All right, y'all. We are back. If you're listening on the TGN app, hope you enjoyed those ads. If you're on YouTube, we weren't gone for but a second. New episode here, episode 8, covering winning time. And episode 8 was a doozy. Like, at this point in the series, the team has been climbing the NBA standings. Everything's looking good. Westhead and Pat Riley out there coaching their little butts off because, back in the day, teams really did only have 2 coaches. Not how it is now where you got like 8-10 different coaches going on there. But it's like all-star break. They celebrate. Next thing you know, Jack McKinney walk up in the locker room like, I'm back. So this causes a lot of friction, because Westhead does not want to go against Jack McKinney because he feels, loyal to Jack. Jack helped him get his start. But he also feels what Pat Riley saying, like, hey, we coached this team for most of the year, 50 games, and we have been doing our doggone thing over here. Like, this is ours. We built this. We should keep it.
Mhm.
So the crux of the episode is the conflict that Westhead is feeling between Pat Riley and between McKinney. So, the question really was coming down to really who is coaching the Lakers. So when McKinney came back and pulled the right card on Pat Riley, he pulled it ASAP. Hey, Spencer Haywood need to be starting. What were y'all thinking? Like, how were y'all feeling about that dynamic when McKinney came back, given how Pat Riley and Paul Westhead were really clicking at that time?
He came back like a man trying to make sure he kept his job. Like, honestly, like he didn't. He kind of had a feeling. I feel like that he knew what was going on. Dr. Buss came and talked to him about it anyways. Like, hey, yo, like if they ain't make it happen, bro, yeah, y'all gone. So he already understood that he was on a hot seat from that conversation anyway. So when he came back, he like, all right, I feel y'all, but I'm gonna go ahead and take this back over. That way, when the season ends, from what I'm thinking, when the season ends, then I'll be able to make sure I still get some of that credit and I can keep my job and shit, as opposed to y'all getting this job. So I feel like he came back, and I'm just pissed on the stuff because this is my team. This is what I do. I'm glad y'all made y'all adjustments, enjoyed yourself, had a good time. This is me. No, he's sitting down, you shutting up.
That is how he was.
Pretty much.
But no, I don't. I stand with Pat Riley, bro, because I would have been like, yo, Like, we've been here, bro. I'm sorry that you fell off your bike and almost killed your damn self. But, like, we've been here putting in the work, B. 50 games, bro, fuck you. How dare you come up in here? I don't give a fuck. You didn't take your team no more, nigga. We won 50 games. We the reason. Like, nah, bro. I would have been on his heels immediately, too.
I don't blame you, shit. I
Fuck
wouldn't
that
be
nigga, bro.
like,
You ain't even get cleared by the doctor. You can barely walk up in this joint.
Man,
You talking about you
fam.
for the coach something. You can barely write. You talking about you for the coach something. Have a seat. I'll kick you in your chest, come up here with that shit.
Westhead was looking at him in that diner when he was signing that autograph, like,
Yeah, like, come on,
Like-
bro. You called the coach.
you. My better judgment is telling me that I should probably side with Pat Riley here, but
Mhm.
I don't know what to do. Like, the whole episode was him. I don't know what to do.
He
I
knew
don't
what
know
to
what to
do.
do.
He knew what to do.
Yeah,
He
he
knew
just did.
what to do.
But that's again him being loyal. I understand the loyalty and like I respect it, but still, if that's really your guy, just like Pat Riley said, if that's really your guy, he will understand and just like, yo, like, nah, he basically shaped and molded him to be able to take over, like if something like this happened anyway. So
And
it's
he
like,
understood that.
yeah,
I
so it's
mean,
like-
at the end of the show, he said that was not the case.
yeah, I know.
You understand what y'all trying to say, but no.
His
Said
little at
no.
the end of the episode where he comes back, because at this point, Westhead's in the hospital because he had kidney stones, which
No, it
is
was-
actually true.
They was dropping like flies, bro.
Man, so
It was
Pat
like a
Riley,
curse
Life
being a
insurance
coach.
policy.
It was a
Pat
curse
Riley
being
really
a coach.
was the interim head coach for a couple of games while Westhead was recovering. Not necessarily in the same timeline that the show depicts,
Mhm.
but that part did happen. Except that when Pat Riley did take over, they did not lose the game; they won.
Mhm.
But that speech at the end, when Westhead finally decides, I'm going to side with Pat Riley. Pat's right. This is our team. I want this to let's do it. And Pat's words of, like Ken was saying, hey, if you really my guy, you'll understand.
Mhm.
And when Westhead brought that to McKinney, he realized not really your guy.
Yeah.
McKinney only really kept him around because he felt that he was not good enough to be a head coach and that he would never usurp his power because he was just going to be a loyal little lapdog all the time.
Yeah. Fuck him.
That was tough. That was tough.
I strongly dislike the guy.
I mean, but you made point. You like, bro, this is my life's work, and you telling me to move around?
Because then he came in, it's messy. We first of all,
Yeah.
we all chilling in this man home. We chilling. We drinking beer. We watching the
Kicked
All-Star
out.
game. Why you stirring up? Why you stirring up mess, bro? Like
Hey, somebody
why you
hold the
doing
baby. Got some shit to start. Hold the baby. Hold the baby real quick. Get in your ass. Come on.
that? Hey, the
Something
baby
tell
did
you.
not go to sleep. He didn't know what to do. He just,
They're shaking, rocking. Damn,
come on
man.
now, please.
Come on
go to
now.
sleep. Please.
Come on now. It's a good ass game, ain't it?
Where your mama at?
Passing her around the room. Can somebody take the baby?
So before we get to that scene with that whole dynamic at the house, I do want to point out in real life, the relationship between McKinney and Westhead really did take a blow. Like in real life, they were more so like friends. And once the change happened and he finally did come back, McKinney was never well enough to be a head coach again. So like Dr. Buss sent him on like some scouting trips and things like that. And the only time that McKinney and Westhead spoke to each other was when it was Lakers related. And Westhead's wife came out later on and was just like, I'll put it like this. They can't share our joy over Paul's success, because how many times can you say that you're sorry for how things turned out?
Mhm.
It just naturally like deteriorated their relationship, which is it's sad. And in real life version, like it's sad that the friendship had to go that way. But
Yeah.
to what Ken was talking about here, and Tim, All-Star break, of course, the team is together watching the game at Spencer Haywood's place while Magic's, doing this thing. We're going to talk about Magic in a minute, but
Yes, sir.
We are.
Yeah.
Haywood got the team over or whatever, and Westhead, again, this was one of his moments of indecision where he could not make up his mind and couldn't figure out what to say, led to McKinney taking Haywood out to the back with the baby, saying, hey, I'm coming back. I'm gonna need you to score. Forget all them trade rumors. And Hay was like, trade rumors?
Trade?
What?
Somebody talking about trade? Trade?
What?
Who trading?
Like Pat said, he was looking out for my knee, for my health, not like he was trying to trade me. So of course he felt some kind of way about that because Pat Riley in his house drinking beers when he's like, "Oh, you trying to trade me?" That's what it is, huh? And then they get into it, which leads Pat Riley and Westhead to get into it.
Yeah.
Hey, team bonding sometimes blows up in your face, I guess.
No, I mean I get what he said because I would have felt some type of way too. Like you in my crib, like you kikiing in my face, drinking my beer, eating my food, and then to hear like you was basically snaking me behind my back. Like I'm definitely putting hands on you, sir. And I'm gonna kindly kick you out my crib.
I mean, I guess like all NBA players, and I think they've even said it on the show, like they understand that it's a business. But it's one thing when like in the due course of the season, it's like we're making a move, whatever. But it's you need to sacrifice for the betterment of the team. Like he's sacrificing his numbers, he's sacrificing his minutes because that role helps the team. All the while, they're really trying to bring his value down so that they can bring in somebody else instead of him. Like, yeah, that's the part that sucks because it's like everybody, if you're not Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or Magic Johnson, like everybody get traded. So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I think that's understood.
In real life, it's not known if you're trying to trade Haywood at that time. But the irony of it is that they do eventually trade for Bob McAdoo, but Haywood was not part of that trade package. And it is very true, as we alluded to during our episode 7 part of this recap, that he had a problem with cocaine.
Yeah, when I finally seen the scene with him hitting it, I was like, oh man.
Like, yeah.
That was like the baby in there asleep, bro. You hitting the pipe.
Everybody
ain't leave the crib yet. What's up with can't see you hitting the pipe, bro?
Little rock in the shoe. I was like, dang, you keep it in your shoe? Just like, it's on me. Like,
there's some cowboy boots, too.
So, like, they're using, like, really not necessarily recognizable black actors for, like...
Yeah, like, all the legends. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, Wood Harris is...
His brother.
Haywood, and then, like, the dude that played Dr. J is, like, I've seen him in a million shows.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's the 1-foot dunker dude. He's nice.
I don't know that. I know from another movie or show.
Yeah, I know.
Wait, hold on. Let me make sure I got this right. Cause I'm pretty. Hold on. I'm gonna check something.
Because I'm pretty sure he played a cop or somebody's uncle or dad or something like that.
Right.
I've seen him in something before.
His face is recognizable. Like I've seen him in like hella shows, maybe movies. And like somebody else's. Oh, and then like in the last episode, Elgin Baylor was Orlando Jones, and it's like that's Orlando Jones. Like,
they really put. I was like, oh, they done found everybody.
Huh? Oh, what?
I'm glad. I'm glad
everybody getting the bag.
Jobs, but it's like y'all couldn't find like actual actors.
Hey, like they on HBO getting their bag.
So I was right. The guy playing Dr. J, his name is Jordan Sutherland, and he on Instagram is known as the 1-foot God. I followed him for some time because he just be dunking. Like he's just.
I didn't even know you could do it.
No, that dude is like a known dunker. Like that's what he do. He's known for his 1-foot dunk. So I bet he relished the chance to be able to do that Dr. J legendary dunk where he cradled it and came back up around because
he shitted on him. I'm like, first play of the game, bro.
I had my man like, oh shit.
My man's a slide across the field.
Like,
he was frozen, bro. Like,
call the police.
In real life, it was not Magic who got dunked on, by the way. It was Michael Cooper.
Yep.
And Coop said that's one of the greatest dunks he's ever seen before. In his life.
Face to face.
I mean, my man's. I was like, good lord, why would you? I was like, damn, this is out the gate, bro.
But see, and then I thought it was like how he was being like super nice to Magic too. And I was just like,
oh, Dr. J.
Yeah, I was like, he been hella nice to him, bro. I was like, gotta be set up or something. He got something up his sleeve.
He gave some sound advice and shit.
Yeah,
like, hey, bro.
Then he must
famous now, nigga. You relax.
Listen, so
You out here.
real quick, because I have one more thing to say about Spencer Haywood in regards to the cocaine thing. He said, quote, about his time in LA, quote, while I'm there, the devil came in the form of cocaine. The devil got in there, man, and it was controlling me completely, and I wasn't myself. Those players never got a chance to see who Spencer Haywood is and was. Perhaps the most disheartening part of this particular interview was probably the fact that he said that his drug use was a pretty open fact, and nobody really said nothing like that. No, it was just like, oh, he do coke, so he do coke. Cool. But eventually he was able to kick that habit.
That's good.
But yeah, Dr. J, that whole storyline, because that's really what like Magic and Cookie and Magic's at all the all-star events, woo woo woo. He's there with Cookie. Cookie come as his date, and she's, like, hey, I got this job in Detroit doing, my fashion thing. And Magic's like, hey, that's what's up, girl. I'm proud of you. Hey. They also have an office in LA, and you see Magic whole face.
Like, oh, what? I ain't say I walk you out here like that. That's what his face is.
Yeah, I was proud of you in Detroit. I'm not as proud of you. Being here, man. I didn't ask for all that. But then he's like, no, I want you to come. But then when he's talking to Dr. J for the first time, he don't even know what to call Cookie. He's like, this is my this Cookie.
This is my cookie. This is my cookie.
And Magic is talking with David Stern. He's like, hey, we want you to come out to dinner afterwards with Larry O'Brien, the commissioner, and Larry Bird. Want to talk about the future of the league and this and that. So Magic go to that, and he all geeked. He's happy. He come back to the hotel room telling Cookie, like, hey, man, I got them right where I want. I had Larry stuck. Larry didn't say nothing. I had Cookie packing. He finally realized she's packing, and he's like, what's the problem? And she's like, you slept with Rhonda? He's like, what? No, I was being polite. We was just hanging out. What you talking about? And she's like, were you hanging out with a rubber on? And he's like,
I'll shoot the club up. Okay. Why ask questions you already know?
And at that moment, Magic finds out from Cookie that Rhonda is pregnant. And she's saying the baby is his. As we have a live baby on the podcast, to re-emphasize the fact
he put some emphasis on that
of what Magic's future is going to be looking like. So, yeah, slept with Rhonda and she got pregnant.
Yeah, it's like he was a little too reckless. Like, if you gonna do all that, you gotta wrap it up, B.
Really?
I mean, that's a common theme with Magic Johnson.
Well,
yes.
That was that whole when she told her, I was like, oh, you called to tell her or you called to tell him? And she answered, and you just said, you know what?
No, she called her.
She called her friend.
She definitely called her. Like, girl, I'm sorry. I love you though.
Which is crazy because in the last
episode,
she was saying like, hey, when y'all get married, I want me a ring too. Well,
they've been like that. They've been like that. Hey, yeah, girl, come on in the back, my guy.
Because she was saying like she introduced him, right?
Mm-hmm. And of course, this is another point in the show where they're taking fictional liberties. There is no Rhonda. She is probably just a character that's meant to represent a bunch of other women that Magic had interacted with, because Magic did have a son with another woman before he had his children with Cookie when they got married. Which, just a quick aside, I watched the Apple TV Magic Johnson documentary.
That's on my list.
It's out. We should probably do a TECK Foul Cinema on it because I'm curious to see how y'all feel about it with how Winning Time has set some things up. But one thing that is very evident from his documentary is the fact that he just strung Cookie along for like a decade. They got engaged on and off like 2 or 3 times. And each time he'd be like, you know what? I can't do it. Sorry, can't get married. Love you. Don't want to do it.
Yeah, like I knew that they didn't get married to like the early 90s or maybe late 80s, but
91.
So I thought it was weird. Like Damn, like Cookie was there in '79, but yeah, that makes sense.
yes. But yeah, so that's we got to deal with. And Magic is like, hey, I'm sorry. He go to Dr. J event, and they're like, oh, where's your girl? And she like, the shrimp was bad.
Hey, Dr. J wife was like, all right, lying ass nigga, all right.
Excuse me, let me move
Oh,
around.
that's like,
I'm like, oh, you lying like that, huh? Let me move.
Let me move around.
No, she already knew he did something. Like, what you do?
Right. That was the
mad.
other half of it.
I'm on her side because it was probably your fault.
Hey, let me put you up on game, bro. We all ate the motherfucker.
Hey, that's
Stop
funny
lying.
though.
Stop
They
lying.
said, yo, we all ate the
Stop, look, come up with something better.
I'm eating
bro.
some right now, but they
Oh shit! I just had a whole ass cocktail. Yo, ass talking about she got sick on the shrimp. Ain't no goddamn shrimp. There wasn't no shrimp.
that's the best shrimp money can buy. What you talking about?
Shit, tell her she unavailable. Just leave it at that. Goddamn, some shrimp.
What do you say? Tell her, say she's on her monthly. Just leave it at that.
Easy. Ain't nobody gonna question shit. Oh, okay, yeah, I feel you. All right.
Especially back then, ain't no question that.
The shrimp.
Magic had never get that.
Whole
The
damn
shrimp.
party.
They did the shrimp ate.
So
You the only one with a bad batch, huh? You was the only one in the party.
it was that
the
one
only-
tray that was bad. It was the one tray. That's what Magic said. It was
That
the
one.
tray.
That one. That's
That
the
one.
only one that still had the tail on it. She ate it.
She had the one shrimp that was not divine.
Right.
She,
All the
she got
shit.
sick.
She devoured it all.
That's all. But no, yeah, I think Ken, you were mentioning how Dr. J was so nice to him, then he got cooked.
Yeah.
Which again was
Nixon.
storyline because when
Mhm.
Magic actually played Dr. J, he was not actually that bad. But the part that was interesting was after the game, Dr. J is coming in still being nice, and Magic's in his feelings.
Yeah.
And then here come Jerry West, the man who was suing HBO because he like, y'all are doing me bogus right now. I do not appreciate y'all. I will
That was
take
his
y'all to the
best.
Supreme Court.
That was his best scene of the whole season
Man.
so far.
I think Jerry West might be my favorite character on this show.
I'll give you that.
Like, he's funny. First of all, like in the last episode, he was walking past him like, stop eating so many effing French fries. And the guy's like, I like French fries. Like, it was just, it's little things like that with Jerry West where I'm like, I am so. But it's like at that point, it seems like Jerry West recognized that Magic actually does have that killer in him, like to be a great player, because all this time he thought like, oh, dog, you just too happy. You ain't got it in you. And then he finally saw it in him and was like, if you want to be great, like, have all that happy stuff, which I was like, that's kind of a weird message, but I guess it's
you
on
can't be
brand.
happy and good at the same time or something. I don't know. You can't be a killer and smiling at cats when you taking them out. I guess
not. Not in Jerry West book.
But yeah, so again, like I know that fact checking is Camille's bag on this show, but like every time that Wilt Chamberlain would come to Boston, like he would stay at Bill Russell's house. I'm assuming he didn't get the shit bed. But then like going forward in time from this point, like when Pat Riley was coaching the Knicks, like Patrick Ewing and I think Oakley and maybe somebody else, like they used to go out and kick it with Michael Jordan like before playoff games, and he's like he put a stop to it. He's like, dog, he is killing y'all. Like y'all can't hang with Michael Jordan, like out drinking, gambling, doing
and hooping the next day.
Like, Michael Jordan don't get tired. Like he run them into the ground the night before the game, kicking it like, oh yeah, I love y'all my dudes, and then come out and kill y'all on the court. Like y'all got stopped. So that is something that's happened in real life throughout NBA history, even if it didn't necessarily happen between the two of them.
Facts. And now, before we get out of here, we have got to talk about Dr. Bus because
Dr. Bus.
Wow.
Hey,
Wow.
He a wild boy.
So we find out that his mom, Jessie, is being discharged from
Yes.
the hospital. Jessie. She checks herself out because she's like, hey, if I'm gonna die with this cancer and stuff, I'm gonna die on my own terms. I'm not gonna die in here. Don't tell your daddy. So Jeannie Bus sitting there like, what? First, I just want to say that's unfair to put that on her. Like, if you're going to make that your thing, that you want to die on your own terms, let that be your terms, unless you plan on telling the dad to. Like, don't have your grandbaby keep that type of secret.
Especially, that's not cool.
It literally made her sick.
Mm-hmm.
Literally. But She
I
was
mean, the
saying,
alcohol helped too.
you said what?
No, it was that greasy
alcohol
ass
helps too.
KFC. She bit that
Hey,
chicken. It was a
fair.
wrap.
They had champagne and
KFC.
KFC.
Hey, that sounds like a winning combo.
That sounds like Donald Trump's Friday night.
Donald Trump got a bucket.
Mild and spicy. You know what? Never mind.
But
But
that white man can't handle spice.
I was just gonna say,
Like the pepper on the original recipe.
It's spicy.
Can we water this down a little bit? Someone spray this a little bit.
Who seasoned this?
they went overboard, didn't they?
Heavy on the pepper, Jesus.
But no, so they're watching the All-Star game. Dr. Bus gets a nurse to help out with his mom. And while they're watching the game, Jeannie gets sick because she starts picturing her dad having an orgy.
Which sucks.
It's random.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Because she's saying what her grandma was telling her about how you need a treatment with the gentle gloves because they're fragile and you got to do all this other stuff, which is kind of sums up how women on the show have been treated. Like Dr. Bus goes around making a lot of messes, and then the women on the show are helping him clean it up, which we've discussed in previous episode recaps. But everybody's drunk. They go to sleep in the morning. The nurse is there studying. It seems as if Dr. Bus and her are having a genuine connection.
Because he's turning over a new leaf.
That's what I thought. Like he's seeing his mom and her, and he's like, "Man, like I respect that." And Jeannie walk in, and she's like, "You trying to F the nurse?" And she just go, "Ham."
He was like,
"What? Tell all the
why
dirt."
you out here fucking it up? If I was trying, shit.
At least let me get it first. Jesus Christ.
And what's crazy is like, I literally was like, "Oh, Jeannie, you got it wrong this time." She did not. She knows her dad better than we do.
Yeah,
better than I do.
In the car, I was just like, "Yo, my man's cried his way into some vagina." Bravo, sir.
I was that kid was over there taking notes. Like,
hey, that's a little too
titties.
Yeah, I was just like, bro, he literally cried his way into some titties, bro. Popped it right out. Like I was like, Jesus Christ.
I was like,
start working. I'm like, damn, my nigga, you still mid tears.
Dog, I'm telling you, bro.
Sobbing.
Bro, he had real baby tears, bro. Like I'm like, dog.
Oh my god, my mom's dying.
Oh, right. And she's like,
and then I was like, I don't even know if that's consent because she didn't necessarily look like she. What? She's probably confused. You go from a man crying to sucking your titty. I just.
Yeah. But you just talking about how you was gonna pay for your whole lifestyle and your kid lifestyle too. So it's kind of like.
That's that power. That's power.
The power dynamic.
Yes. I was gonna call it power rape, but like I'm not sure if that's the right terminology.
Dynamic.
Shit. So I was like, Jesus Christ, bro. Like that's a new low, my good sir.
Yeah.
That's low for even him.
And that's the thing about like Jerry West's whole deal. Not Jerry Buss. Jerry West's whole deal, like making this big deal about like how he's portraying the show. Like everybody is portrayed like good and bad. Like there are warts on both sides, and there are also like glorification on both sides. So it's going to even out. It feels like over the course of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Facts. But yeah, Dr. Bus was wild. I don't know where we're gonna go from here. We got 2 episodes of Winning Time left. Hopefully, it ends with them winning the championship, and then we can continue on. But overall, I found this episode to be very stressful for me. There was a lot of drama in this episode, more so than 7. But that's the recap for y'all. We hope that y'all enjoyed this week's episode of Overtime. As a reminder, if you have not listened to our weekly episode, go ahead and do that. You can find episode 247 live anywhere that you listen to podcasts, as well as on our YouTube page. So make sure that y'all go check that out, support, like up the YouTube, subscribe, and all of that good stuff. If you would like to follow me on social media, you can catch me.
Wait a minute.
On the Twitter, Instagram, and these PSN, GTA, and 2K streets. And if you see me on GTA, please don't be killing me. At Camille Monet, CamilleMonae, because
your mom is fancy.
Thank you.
Ain't killing you the whole point of GTA.
No, the point is to make money. You can do that without killing me.
I mean, you could be a serial killer owner if you want to.
I guess.
Griefers.
At Bucks Burner on Twitter.
That's all you get.
Yep, because we ain't got time.
Everyday_gentleman on Instagram. K Harris 216 on Twitter and Snapchat.
And it's your boy, TIMKINZ, the number 3, aka Ask Ketchum, aka Mr. Give It To Me. It's late, can't be yelling and shit. So y'all have a good night, man. Good day, good morning, good afternoon, lunch, breakfast, dinner, whatever.
Wishing you the best of tidings, no matter what time of the day it is for you and for yours. See y'all.